Today I am going to teach you how to create a twisted vase in FreeCAD, and we are going to use this particular file in order to do a 3D printing operation later on. So first open the FreeCAD software by double clicking on it. Normally, computer-aided design softwares are resource intensive and take a while to get started. FreeCAD is actually much less resource intensive as compared to some other commercial softwares like SolidWorks. So it opened quite quickly. Now, once the software opens, you can go to File, New, and then let me save the file using Ctrl S option as twisted was December 4th 2020. Okay, so let me save this. So you see a new project has been started with this name. Now you go to part design. Now once you are in part design, go to this icon which says create a new part and make it active. Alright, now the way parts are created in any CAD software is you start with some 2D sketches and then you use options such as extrude, loft, revolve in order to create a 3D part. So alright, so first I'm going to create a sketch. Under this part I'm creating a sketch. Okay, now to create a sketch I have to select the plane on which the sketch has to be drawn. I'm going to select XY plane and then click on OK. Alright, now we are in this fine. So now we need to create a sketch. So what on this I'm going to create a equilateral triangle which is inscribed within a circle of 30 mm radius. So in order to create a triangle, I'm first going to start by creating line segments. Okay, so over here you have a bunch of options in order to create curves. So I'm going to create line segments. Okay, so from here to here is one line segment, here to here is another line segment, and then here to here is another line segment. Now as you can see, I have created 3 separate line segments. These do not yet make a triangle. Now for me to make a triangle, what I need to do is I need to make these 2 vertices coincident. So over here in this particular row you can see a bunch of constraints. Okay, so pick the coincident constraint. Okay, and then click on this dot and then this dot, this and this and this. Now before I move ahead, just a small thing. Now if you are not seeing these icons over here, then these icons are available over here. Okay, so within the toolbar I have selected file, workbench. I have clicked on all of them. Okay, so I am seeing all these options, and in panels I have clicked on property view and tree view. So if you click on these options, then you would also see these things. Just to sort of not get confused, this constraints bar I am going to take it from here and then place it on the side. Okay, place it on the side. Let me move this or let me place it here so that all the constraints can be seen. Constraints play a very important role in FreeCAD. The different constraints you have are coincident of dots, and then you can coincide a dot with a curve. You can make a line vertical, make a line horizontal, make 2 lines parallel or perpendicular to one another, or tangential to one another, make two lines of equal length, or you can create a symmetry constraint, okay, block constraint. You can fix the distance between, horizontal distance between 2 points, vertical distance between 2 points, fix the length of a line or radius of a circle. Okay, anyhow, as we move along, you are going to become more and more familiar with these things. So first, let's make this triangle a equilateral triangle. In order to do that, I'm going to use this equality constraint. So I'm enforcing this line length to be equal to this line length. So now I have an isosceles triangle. Now if I make this line length also equal to this line length, then I have an equilateral triangle. Okay. All right. Next, I want to draw a circle which passes through the vertices of this triangle. So in order to do that, I will draw a circle. Okay. So center of the circle is this. I'll just draw some circle, doesn't matter. Now I want this to be just a geometric feature. This is not going to be really a part of the vase that we are trying to create. So in order to convert this into a geometric feature, over here you have some option. So first let me select this curve. First let me select this, and then I go to this option over here which says it toggles the toolbar or selected geometry to or from construction mode. So if I click on this, then the circle I drew becomes a construction line. Okay. Now then what I'm going to do is, then I'm going to enforce this constraint where I will say that this vertex has to lie on this circle. Similarly, this vertex has to lie on this circle, and this point has to lie on this circle. So now you can see that my triangle is such that its vertices lie on this circle. Okay, and this would therefore be the centroid of this particular triangle. Now I would like to have this centroid be coincident with the origin. So for that I select this point constraint, and then I select this dot and then this dot. Now this triangle centroid is at the origin. Next, I would like to make this line horizontal. So for that I select the horizontal constraint and then click on this. So now I have a equilateral triangle with its base being horizontal and its centroid at the origin. Next, I want to prescribe the size for this circle. So for that I select this option. I select this option which says okay, and then here I get to enter the size. So let us enter the size of this radius of this circle as 30 millimeters. Okay. Alright, so now I am done with this particular sketch. I have created what I wanted to create. Okay. Now whatever constraints we have created, we can see them in two ways. So first of all, I am using my scroll bar in order to either zoom out or zoom in. If you don't want to use your scroll bar, one of the options is you can go to this icon which says fit the whole content on the screen. Okay, so that is another way to do it. So within this property tree, okay, if you go to model, you see what the model is, and in the tasks you see the different constraints that we have created. The constraints can also be seen over here graphically. So here it says that the radius of this construction circle is 30 millimeters. It shows that there is a curve point constraint, meaning vertex is constrained to lie on this construction circle, and then that this edge length should be equal to this edge length, and this edge length should be equal to this edge length. So you can also see the constraints through these visual indicators. Now what I want to do is I want to create another sketch, okay, which will be at a different height. Now before I can do that, I am going to go ahead and save this particular file. Always assume that the software can crash, So please make it a habit to frequently save your files. Okay, all right. Next, let me come out of this. So to come out of this sketch, I say close. So once I say close, my triangle has been completed, and if I click on fit to view, then okay, so this is my triangle. Now let me go to my model tree. Now what I want to do is I want to create another triangle which I am going to place at a height of 50 mm from the bottom triangle. Okay, so in order to create another sketch, one of the options I have got is I can copy it and paste it. Okay, so I say Control C. Do you want to selected objects have dependency? Do you want to copy them? I'm going to say no, and then I'm going to say Control V. Okay, now once I do this, I want to bring this sketch into this body, so I'm going to select it and drag it and place it on body. Okay, so now I have my sketch 2. So let me just rename this as sketch. Okay, let it be sketch 001. Now here this has the same set of properties as this thing, but I want to change these properties. So first thing I want to do is the second sketch I want to create it at a height of 50 mm from the bottom one. So in order to do that, select that, then go to this attachment, position, and in here you enter a value of 50 mm. Okay, say enter. Once you do that, the sketch 001 is actually at a height of 50 mm from the first sketch. How can you see that? Well, you just go to this set to isometric view option and then fit to view. Now you can see that there are actually two triangles, one above the other. Next, what I want to do is I want to increase the size of this second triangle. Okay, so in order to increase the size of the second triangle, what I'm going to do is first I'm going to double click on this so that I can get to the properties of this. Alright, then I'm going to go here into the constraints. First I'm going to double click on this size constraint. So instead of 30 mm I want to make this 45 mm. So select that and say okay. So now my triangle size is 45 mm. Next, I want to remove this horizontal constraint so that I can rotate this triangle. So for that I'm going to select this and then right click and say delete. So now the horizontal constraint has been removed. Next, what I want to do is I want to rotate this particular triangle by 15 degrees. So for me to do that, I'm going to select this angle constraint and then I want to impose an angle of 15 degrees between this line and the horizontal. Between this line and this line it is 30 degrees. I want to make this 15 degrees. Okay, so it has rotated by 15 degrees. Okay, now again go up and say close and let us save. Control S to save it. Okay, again fit to view. So now I have this thing, second triangle, which is rotated. Next, again let me select this sketch 001. No, I don't want to copy the dependencies. Control V. Now this new sketch, again bring it into the body. So fine. So for this sketch I want to take it to a height of 85 mm. So let me write 85 over here. And then, so again fit to view and you can see, okay, the third sketch has been created. Now again double click on this in order to edit the properties, and this angle 15 degrees which we have created, okay, I want to make it 0 degrees so that it is further rotated by another 15 degrees. Okay, you will see that at the end of it, the vase, a very pretty looking vase is going to come out. So just continue with the instructions. So say close So fine, so now we have this vase, okay, and if you look from the top view, you can see the different orientations and sizes of these particular triangles. Let me again go to the isometric view. Now one last copying I am going to do. No, V, then again bring it into the body, and then this particular triangle I want it to be at a height of 120 mm, 120 mm, okay, and then again I'm going to double click on this. I want the angle now to be at minus 15 degrees, okay, so further rotated, and I want the size to be back to 30 mm, okay, so say okay, so I have a smaller triangle. Again say close. So now I have my 4 triangles. Now what I want to do is I want to create a body which has these particular sections at 0, 50, 85 and 125 mm heights. So in order to do that, first let me select sketch, this thing, and then I will say loft. So go to this icon which says loft a selected profile through other profile section, select that. Then you have to add a section, so say add section, so then select this one first, then again add section, select this, then again add section, select this. Now see, it as such creates a smooth profile, but if you do not want smooth profile but you want it through planes, then you can select on this ruled surfaces. If you want smooth surfaces, just unclick this, okay, say okay. So now we have created a nice pretty looking vase, and in order to rotate and view this, so press on the scroll bar, right click, so press on scroll bar and right click together, and then you can move your mouse in order to see the 3D object that you have created. Now this what you have created is a surface profile. Now I want to assign some thickness to these walls in order to make it a vase. So for that select this top surface and then go to make a thick solid option, okay. Once you do that, it creates a vase with a thickness profile. The default thickness is 1 mm, let's make it 2 mm, enter, okay. So now you have a pretty looking vase with thickness of 2 mm. So once the vase has been completed, okay, so let us now generate the STL file needed for 3D printing. So for that, let me click on thickness. So you see this highlighted green colored part. So this is what we want to 3D print. So select this, then go to file, export. So let us save this as twisted vase with 2 mm wall thickness, okay. So it's going to be created with a .stl extension, say save. Now in order to see whether we created a proper STL file or not, once again go to file, say open. So look for the file we have created. So it is, let me go with date modified, twisted vase with 2 mm wall thickness, open. So you can see over here. So this is the STL file which can be given to a 3D printing software in order to create the G codes required for printing the file.